Go. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, we note a pathology with the with the deaths here. So we have a model where we have a mortality rate that's actually calculated by age and by and then affected by their behavioral risk factor, to wit, smoking. And if we run this model, we find that a large number of individuals are becoming distressingly old. I mean, they're becoming old at levels that seem utterly unrealistic, over 150 years old. This is odd because our baseline mortality hazard by age indicates an extremely high hazard rate of mortality, yearly hazard mortality for the oldest age groups. Those who are age 90 or older are subject to a hazard rate, a chance per year of dying, a density of dying has a probability density of dying of 0.4, implying that they would live 2.5 years on average over age 90. So there should simply not be many people over over age 100, and yet we are seeing those. We are seeing those individuals who reach an age over 150. That doesn't make sense, and it suggests that something is wrong here. Something is wrong in terms of those calculations. So it's now my goal to debug this. So first I begin with a hypothesis. What might be going on? So first of all, my question is anyone dying at all? Let's go check if anyone's dying. Maybe no one's dying at all. There's something wrong with the mechanisms for dying. So I'm going to print out here, once again, I did this in my debugging model, died. Here we go. I'm going to print out. This is one of the biggest tricks you can do to capture debugging of a model. You print something out when something happens. Let's go see if anyone's dying. Maybe no one's dying at all. Maybe mortality is somehow broken in our model and it's not paying attention to the rates. And indeed, just like as in Dave's model, there's a complete and utter absence, ladies and gentlemen, of mortality. There's no one dying. That seems to be likely to be the root of the problem. My hypothesis, ladies and gentlemen, my working hypothesis appears to be reinforced by the evidence. It's certainly not yet falsified. So this transition is not occurring at all. Ladies and gentlemen, not at all. So let's go try to figure out why this is. One hypothesis would be that maybe this is not occurring because one of these things is zero, or effectively zero, close to zero. Let us go print out what the values of this are. So we verified that no mortality is going on at all, which seems to be feeding into this. Let's go check why. We're going to go to the entry action of this state, and we are going to, in fact, print out the values of each of the components that's used to calculate the mortality hazard when you come back into the state. So I'm going to print out the value of this guy here, and similarly, I will print out the value of the other component. My baseline hypothesis, my new working hypothesis, is indeed that it is not, that mortality is not occurring. And my hypothesis is that it's because one of these things is zero. So I'm going to print those out when I enter this. This is an easy way to test that hypothesis. Ladies and gentlemen, an easy way to help falsify that hypothesis. Here we go. So every time they enter, that should be recalculated, and I would expect the console to be filled with messages associated with recalculation. Instead, I see nothing. Ladies and gentlemen, it seems that, oddly enough, within our model, that not even once do we enter this state. I find this most puzzling. For a moment, my mind races for a good explanation. After all, they should be able to come in here for the very first time and reach that point. Let's see if they go here. So I'm just going to print out a marker, a simple indicator as to whether or not they reach this point. We would expect them to always initialize into this. Let us run it. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm running. Not even once does someone come in there. Okay. So ladies and gentlemen, maybe it's because the console is not visible. The console is visible. Okay. Here we go. So here, no one is coming into the state chart at all. This is making very little sense to me, but it's something I can easily check if it is reproducible with another state chart. I'm going to temporarily add complications to my model. But before that, I stand advised to make a copy of my model for debugging purposes so that I may wreak upon it the changes that I seek at my pleasure. Okay, here we go. So I saved the debugging version of the model. So then I don't have to worry about these changes bothering things. I create a new state chart. Test state chart. I create a state in that state chart. Test state. I'm going to test whether or not this is ever reached. Trace ln, and I'm going to trace ln number 2. There we go. Good. Okay, mortality hazard. Oh. Okay. Now wait a minute. So why didn't that get caught by the earlier compilation? What the heck? This is actually its name here. Mortality hazard rate ratio for smoking. Okay. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, okay. And then mortality, indeed. Why didn't it warn me about this error message before? How could it have let that by it? I wonder. But as a pragmatist, I'll just debug it. Mortality hazard rate ratio for smoking. This says smoking status. That doesn't make sense. Why didn't it warn me about that for smoking? There we are. Here we go. The model apparently wasn't compiling properly before. No wonder it didn't work. No wonder I didn't see those changes.
I'm having a similar problem, mate.
Is that right?
Yeah, it won't show up that if you actually go into that, when you run the model,
Yeah.
it'd be interesting to see if yours comes up the same issue. Why don't it then go to an individual in the simulation?
Yeah.
Does that state chart actually exist?
Right. Right, exactly. Exactly. Okay, now we're, I think, cooking with gas. You notice it's reaching these things. It's reaching these states. Okay. So, as they say in Chinese, 糊里的尾巴. 糊里的尾巴. The fox has shown its tail. Yeah. The fox's tail. Okay, so that's the issue. The issue is it was not compiling properly, right? It was not warning. It was not compiling properly. Now it seems to be working fine as far as I could tell. It was just there was a latent error in the compilation that for some reason was not showing earlier. Okay, so one of the great advantages, Winchell, of having saved the debugging version of the model is now I can go back to the original version, which still exhibits the problem. True or not? Okay, here we go. So the indications or that this had a problem that prevented it from compiling, and therefore it wasn't paying attention. You notice that misspelling? Notice or not? See, it says, look at that, ladies and gentlemen. Now it actually resolves it. This is a problem. It was not reporting the error message properly.
Yeah, but it reported on this computer. It's
Yeah.
sort of very strange.
Juli de Weber. Yeah.
Is it really? I don't know. Just doesn't sound so fun.
What day is today?
What day is today?
Yeah.
21st? 22nd? Wait, 21st?
There's no special date, right? It's not April 1st.
It's not April 1st.
Okay, so this is successful. It was an any logic problem, which is simultaneously satisfying but also dissatisfying. Okay, here we go. This was simply not flagged. There we go. There we go. There we go. We're running it. We see no indications of problems this time. Right? There were no problems now. And here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, a model that works perfectly.
Great.
That'd be interesting to see. Do you have the bug version still saved?
Yo.
Send me one?
Actually, I saved over it
Oh,
just
that's
now.
better.
Wait, what
Yeah.
happened?
No, it's just interesting looking at whether their generated code has
Yeah.
something added as a status after.
Indeed,
it.
indeed,
Yeah.
indeed, indeed.
Wait, then the what? Oh yeah, saved over.
That's why it probably did not get.
I wonder if that CHR even existed.
Well, the
We
compilation
read
did not
before.
take place, and so I think it was using the old version of the model.
So
Right.
okay,
And
so
then
without
if we
burning.
if we open the agents to check for the CHR,
Sorry?
maybe that is not even there.
Yeah,
And
that's
what
right.
that
Yeah,
read,
yeah,
yeah.
that's exactly that judgment.
Yeah. Oh, so you didn't see.
So
the,
actually,
Yeah,
Winchell,
that's what-
this
Yeah.
this may be the old version of the model here.
Oh, thanks.
Jacob.
Can have it as a gift.
Run that.
Okay.
Thanks.
Well, do you want it?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
do
yeah.
want it. Yeah, I want
Okay.
to see it.
Okay, let's go open it. Okay.
The precious word.
Okay. Okay. Let's go see if it exhibits the same same features. Let's go. Mail.
Oh, it's not there.
It's too early. Yeah.
Oh.
Um,
Interesting.
Talala. Okay. This is the one that I want. Okay. Here we go. Yeah. So this is where the problem occurred.
Yeah, yeah.
I think basically we had to clear it out and load it back into AnyLogic.
Yeah. It just. You need
Wait,
to take
wrong?
a rest.
Oh, this one worked.
Yeah. So this is working fine now. It was just an AnyLogic, not warning about an error message.
Yeah. well,
Now the interesting question though is, I mean, was it producing the error message? It just wasn't making it visible.
Right. Possibly.
I mean, it possible it said, well, wait a minute, it's all on
But
video.
it rained.
Mm-hmm.
It's all on video.
Oh, that's
Right.
great.
So-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
okay,
great.
let's go check it out. Here we go. Okay, here we go.